Welcome back to Decoding AI for you. Today, we are going to learn 7 practical AI lessons from an experienced operator in a high-stakes industry. If you are trying to figure out how to use AI in a real organization without getting trapped in hype, broken workflows, or expensive mistakes, this video is for you. One of the most useful AI frameworks I've come across did not come from a tech founder, a futurist, or a consultant. It came from an experienced practitioner who has spent years watching a major industry try to digitize itself, and often get it wrong. That industry happens to be healthcare. But before you think this isn't applicable to me and my business, this is not a healthcare video. It is a video about what happens when a powerful new technology enters a messy, high-stakes, human organization. And that makes the lessons surprisingly universal. The lessons and frameworks we discuss is based on the book, A Giant Leap by Dr. Robert Wachter. Dr. Wachter is a physician, professor, and health system leader. So when he writes about AI, he is not writing from the sidelines. He is writing as someone who has already lived through one massive wave of digital transformation and seen how badly it can disappoint. And that is exactly what makes this book useful for business leaders, managers, and professionals in any field. Because it does not ask, what can AI do in theory? It asks a much better question: what actually happens when you try to implement AI in the real world with workflows, people, incentives, trust, risk, and politics all colliding at once? One of the central ideas in the book is that healthcare already went through a huge digital shift with electronic health records. In theory, that should have made everything better, including better data, better coordination, better decisions, and better efficiency. And yes, some things improved. But it also created problems such as more clicking, more inbox overload, more documentation burden, more frustration, and more burnout. So right away, we get the first big lesson. Installing technology is not the same thing as transforming the business. That applies just as much to banking, insurance, law, consulting, education, customer service, operations, really any knowledge-heavy organization. A company can install AI into a bad process, and all it may end up doing is helping the organization do the wrong thing faster. That is not transformation, that is acceleration. And those are very different things. The second big lesson is about where to begin. One thing the doctor shows very clearly is that smart organizations do not begin with the most dramatic AI use case. They do not begin with use cases such as, can we replace the expert? Can we automate the highest stakes judgment? Can we go fully autonomous? Instead, they begin with automating tasks such as summarization, drafting documentation, message support, internal search, workflow triage, repetitive admin burden. Why do they focus on such tasks? Because those use cases solve real pain, create visible value, carry lower risk, and help build trust. So for most businesses, the smartest first AI projects are usually not the flashiest. They are the ones where smart people are wasting time on work that should never have required that much human energy in the first place. The next lesson relates the human-in-the-loop fallacy. This is one of the most important ideas in the book. A lot of people hear AI risk and say, no problem. We'll just keep a human in the loop. Sounds reasonable, very responsible, very safe. But the doctor shows that this can be a false comfort because humans are often bad at monitoring systems that are usually right. They stop paying attention. They overtrust the system. They rubber stamp. They lose some of their own skill over time. So when a company says, don't worry, a person will review it, the real question is not just, is a person there? The real question is, can that person actually intervene in a meaningful way? This matters in hiring, fraud, compliance, credit review, contract review, customer escalation, financial analysis, basically anywhere AI outputs are being reviewed rather than deeply evaluated. The doctor is also very realistic about incentives. He never assumes institutions use technology purely to help people. He understands that organizations respond to money, efficiency, pressure, power, competition, risk, and internal politics. AI can absolutely improve service, but it can also be used to cut labor without redesigning the job, deny things faster, flood customers with automation, push bad metrics harder, or increase surveillance. So one of the smartest questions any business can ask is not, can AI do this? It is, why are we deploying it this way? Because AI tends to amplify the logic of the institution using it. If the institution is thoughtful, AI can be powerful. If the institution is careless, AI can scale that too. This next one is one of the most practical lessons in the book. People often criticize AI because it is not perfect. Fair enough, it isn't. But Wachter makes a very important point. Do not compare AI to some fantasy version of flawless human performance. Compare it to the actual current alternative. And in many businesses, the current alternative is overloaded teams, rushed judgment, delayed responses, missed details, inconsistent quality, and fragmented follow-through. So the real question is not, is the AI perfect? The real question is it better than what we are actually doing right now? That is a much more honest test. And finally, one of the most useful lessons in the book is this. AI usually changes tasks before it changes jobs. This is a much better way to think about the future of work. Instead of asking which professions disappear, ask which tasks are repetitive, which tasks are drafting, which tasks are searching, which tasks are coordination, which tasks require judgment, which tasks require accountability, which tasks depend on trust and relationships. Because in the near term, AI often does not erase the whole role. It reshapes the role, like less first draft work, less repetitive admin, less manual searching, less routine coordination, more judgment, more synthesis, more exceptions, more relationship-heavy work. That is a much more useful way to think about what is coming. So when you step back, what this book really gives us is a framework for AI adoption inside complex organizations. Not just hospitals, any serious institution. Important aspects of the framework include: do not confuse digitization with transformation. Start where value is clear and risk is manageable. Redesign the workflow, not just the tool stack. Do not assume human oversight solves everything. Build trust deliberately, watch incentives closely, compare AI to real-world alternatives, and expect tasks to change before jobs do. And maybe the biggest takeaway of all is this. The future of AI will not be determined only by what the models can do. It will be determined by how institutions choose to use them. And that is why a book from healthcare may actually be one of the most useful books a business audience can read about AI. Hopefully, your business doesn't learn this lesson the hard way. Thanks for exploring the future of AI with us. If you found these ideas useful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your network. Let's keep discovering new ways AI can transform business together. See you next time.